Oh, I know this is 3.4. 3.4 plus 2.4 squared divided by 2. You guys know what I get if I approximate this to the nearest thousandths? What do I get? Approximate to the nearest thousandths. Anybody get this value? 0.570. .570. Anybody second that answer? Anybody else get that answer but me? You got that answer? Oh, you got a different answer. Okay, what'd you get? 0.832? Why did I put 1? You got 0.570. Okay. Why do we put 1? Because this is the common term. You can factor out what's common. If you don't want to do that, again, go through each individual. Factor out what's common. This is like a 1 times this. Yeah. That's the same thing. Yeah, do you guys know why I put the 0 here? Because actually 0.5, like it's 0.569 something here that's larger than 5. Yeah, 0.5697. That 7 says add 1 to the 69, which makes it 70. You don't have to put that 0. In fact, exactly. Well, this is even an approximation, so I want to talk about, again, it's an approximation. So even if you went through each step here, you might be slightly different. Okay? But that's how you go about getting your answer. This stuff is not, it's not rocket science. Nobody's asking you to, cure cancer. This is actually not that bad. This is just simply, if you go through it as an exercise, okay, you're gonna deduce your answer. And what's happening here is, which you should recognize, it's what I said the first week, is that these phrases that you see are no different than the phrases we see in that first week with our relative frequency table, our percent questions. And I asked you guys back then, way back then, how many children did you have? One of the reasons I asked that question, how many children do you have, is because usually people give the values like 0, 1, 2, 3. I didn't ask, other things that could have given me different values. So even in that setting, we asked what percent of the class had no children, 1 children, 2 children, at least 1, at least 2, less than 3, between. So ever since that first class, you guys have seen the same language over and over and over again. You've seen it with the binomial. We've seen it with Poisson. We're going to see it with other things. But it's the same reoccurring language. So at that point, I told you, if you're okay with this language that first week, good for you, because it means that you'll be okay for the weeks following. But if you're not okay, what do you want to do? Go back and what? Learn that language. You see what I'm saying? Because the only thing that really, if you did that, the only thing that you really have new is this here. This one different step is, what do you do when the interval is different from what they give you? Well, go back and use the tool of proportions and you're done. You can find the value of mu. And now you can answer all the questions. Plugging this in and using your calculator again. I don't know. For me, didn't we talk about this already before? I think, or was it the Saturday class? Do you guys really want to come back and take statistics again? Because, you think about it, you go, oh, I never even bothered, doing it on my calculator once. You wake up for a day of a test, didn't even bother doing any problems, didn't even bother plugging these values in. You imagine that. And then after the test, you see it, after you see the answers, you go, is that all I had to do? And then you start to feel bad, but you know what, by then it's too late, and you got to take the class all over again. How does that make you feel? Makes you feel horrible. It makes you feel like, I should have what? I should have did a little bit of something so that I don't have to be in that situation. And that's how I feel. I feel the same way. Just like you guys in those sort of situations. I feel like, you know what, if I only, all my Fridays, I didn't have, you know what I did every Friday? Nothing. If I only use that time every Friday to practice this, or even to use my calculator, I would save myself a whole semester. Because worse yet, you may not even take it in summer. You have to wait till what? Fall, which means when you're done, it's a whole other year. But you know, human nature is what human nature is. This is what we are. We're human beings. We do things inefficiently sometimes. All of us do. Even myself. You know, for some things, but not for this. I learned maybe I don't want to waste my time. You know, maybe it's not so good to do that. Maybe I better use that Friday to what? To study, or that Saturday or that Sunday to do this, since it really wasn't that bad. See what I mean? Right? So this is what we've seen over and over again. So there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that we are done with Poisson. So some of you guys are going to go, yay, good. You know, thank God. Some of you guys may say, oh, you're going to know, well, I'd rather do Poisson than what? Than anything new. Well, you know, and there's more news. The formulas, like in other words, using a formula to compute a probability, we're not going to do anymore. So we're transitioning from actually not using a formula to compute probabilities. We're going to use tables. Okay? But I have to sort of, before we do that, I have to go through an exercise in helping you guys to deduce the answer, because really that's the name of the game here, is deduction. Okay? So we're going to go through that exercise, but again, there's good news is I hate to do it. I hate to erase it. I hate to leave Poisson behind, because it really wasn't that bad. And you know, some of your test scores are good. Some of the test scores are really good. Like I know Moshe, he only missed one. He only missed one, so, but that's good, you know? It's really good. Yeah, I know. I feel the same way whenever if I'd ever miss one, oh, forget it. I know how he feels. Do you guys know that? Some of you guys go, I'm glad, if I miss one, I'm happy. No, don't want to miss any. You see, what usually happens is you have to shoot for the stars, because sometimes you settle for the what? For the moon. But if you just shoot for the moon and you fall off, where are you at then? You're out in space, lost. See what I mean? So it's best to shoot for the best you can for perfection. Get them all right. That's the best part, okay?